English historian and politician Lord Acton famously said, "Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Great men are almost always bad men." But how true is that? Hey guys, Julia here for D News. One of the classic examples of twisted psychology is the brutal 1971 Stanford prison experiment. Hand a bunch of regular college-age guys power without reservations and things turn very dark very quickly. But what was it about being given power that changed these young men so fast? Does power really corrupt, or is it in human nature to dominate completely when in a position of privilege? Dr. Keltner, professor of psychology at the University of California, Berkeley, believes that empathy and social intelligence have been shown to be important in acquiring power. But these skills seem to be the first to go when actually in a position of power. This is called the power paradox. Keltner's research shows that when in groups, humans tend to promote socially intelligent and empathetic people to positions of power, that we're actually wary of people who seem too self-serving and opportunistic. So we're pretty good at spying who is unfit for power and tend to rally around someone who really does want what's best for the group. Unfortunately, once that person is given power, things seem to go a little wrong. Some wonder, does power corrupt, or do the corrupt seek power? It's more the former, according to a study in the journal Leadership Quality. Researchers analyzed people's potential for corruption by judging some of their personality traits like honesty. Then through a series of experiments, gave people varying degrees of power over dividing up an amount of money. The people in positions of higher power tended to make more anti-social choices than those in a lower position of power, even though beforehand everyone agreed that the pro-social choices were the best. But what's interesting in this study is that the researchers in one of the experiments introduced a time crunch. When under pressure from time, even the more honest participants fell down a more corrupt path. But it's not just the top dogs that are corrupt. People stuck in the middle can act horribly too. So think of a prison guard. They have almost no status but a lot of power. Because of this, according to a study published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology, guards are much more likely to act corruptly. To test this, researchers assigned students to either a high status title, idea producer, or a low status title, worker. The students then told other students to perform from a list of 10 tasks. Some were pretty demeaning, like bark like a dog 3 times. The researchers found that students in low status roles were more likely to make their fellow participants do the more demeaning tasks, concluding that being in a low status position just makes us feel bad about ourselves, but controlling someone else helps alleviate some of those bad feelings. So there does seem to be something about power that makes us behave in not the nicest of ways, and it also goes to our heads. According to a study published in the journal Psychological Science, researchers found that people in power suffer from an illusion of control. In a simple experiment, the researchers assigned people into groups, some with high power positions such as manager. Then they were asked to predict the outcome of rolling a pair of dice. But when confronted with the option to roll the dice themselves or let someone else do it, every single person in the high power group wanted to roll the dice themselves, compared to less than 70% of people in lower positions. Basically, they believed they could control the outcome of something, even something as random as a roll of a dice. So while the roll of a dice isn't that big of a deal, such a mindset could have huge implications for life and death matters, like the outcome of a corporate merger or war. And according to another study, also published in the journal Psychological Science, people in positions of power tend to overestimate their own height. People who feel powerful literally feel taller. So what should we do as a society? Well, authors from the study in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology said, find ways for all individuals, regardless of the status of their roles, to feel respected and valued, because respect assuages negative feelings about their low status roles and leads them to treat others positively. And the authors of the Leadership Quality study say that it's more simple than that. Organizations should limit how much leaders can drink from the seductive chalice of power. Speaking of people who are drunk on power, have you ever met somebody who had a God complex? What is that even? Amy checks it out in this video right here.
It's an obsessive preoccupation with status and power that gives NPD the moniker God complex. But that confidence is typically a veneer masking such cripplingly low self-esteem that the slightest criticism can lead to a complete breakdown.
So how do you think you would behave if you had power? Let us know down in the comments below. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and keep coming back to D News. We've got new episodes every day of the week.